And there is a proverb in the Bible, Proverbs 18:21. Its death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruit thereof. And that I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'm tired, or I'm stressed, or I can't? And then your whole day just follows that? Have you, KayCee?
Okay, I didn't know if it was yes, yes. I'm listening to you, but I didn't know if it was a rhetorical question to me.
Right.
But yeah, you stub your foot, you almost trip, something like that, and you make a comment, a snide comment, and it seems like the whole morning is crap.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I go the biblical way. I know
I'm just gonna smile.
when I first saw this with regards to your, immediately I thought of your words have meaning. Every word that comes out of your mouth has meaning. And there is a proverb in the Bible, Proverbs 18:21. And its death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat the fruit thereof. And that means your words, whether they are good, whether they are bad, positive or negative, death and life, controls your day, your mood, things that happen to you. So when we were discussing the topic, that verse immediately came to my head because to me, it rings true with regards to that.
I definitely believe in that. I look at it more as spelling. Again, I'm just thinking about like if I'm say you're in not even a bad mood, you're at the grocery store and somebody else pass by and go, "Hi, how are you?" And it's just something as simple as that, or somebody gives you a compliment on something. It really is uplifting. It lifts your mood. Whereas
Right.
on the flip side of that, somebody cuts you off, somebody runs the light, which they do out here a lot, and you almost get sideswiped. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that stuff has happened. And your mood, it just that, and the verbal gymnastics that go along with that, it totally brings you down. So again, and also spewing because you might not be saying something to yourself, but you're lashing out at the situation. So it has an awful lot to do with your comings and goings for sure. Happen in an instant if you're not careful.
This made me think about when we talk, are we
Yes.
programming the way we think, our day, how our day is going to go, how we see ourselves by the words that are coming out of our mouths?
Oh, absolutely. Have affirmations taped onto my mirror. To your point, what you say, and even if I'm feeling crappy, I still say, I make myself look at the gratitude part of my day. I said it before, even I know of some family members that are extremely negative, and we'll be in a conversation, and I'm like, can you at least say a couple of things that are positive? I got this going on. I got that going on. I said, here's the thing. Did you wake up? Did you wake up this morning? Do you have all your faculties in check? Can you walk? Oh, I got this bunion, but can you walk? There's some people have no leg. They wish they can get a bunion because
Right.
they have no freaking leg. Over the years, I've had to do that myself. Okay, let's be grateful. What are you grateful
Right.
right now? Things that look bleak, it's always darkest before the dawn. Things are about ready to turn around. And that I learned from church. The
Mm-hmm.
darker it is, you want to start to rejoice because now you know that light is coming. In the evening, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, it's the darkest before the sun starts to rise. So it all plays hand in hand. So you need to make sure that you are aware of what you're saying.
Words have power.
Yes.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't believe that, but I would challenge people to be aware or do an experiment. They do have an experiment. I don't know if you heard about this experiment. It took place in China or Japan. They
Mhm.
had two things of water, and one they spoke negatively to,
That sounds vaguely familiar.
and
Okay.
one they spoke very positive, very loving to. When they cursed it, they talked negative to the water. They said everything, and then the other one they spoke so lovingly, froze the water. And then afterwards, they put the water under a microscope, and they could tell the difference in the content of the water. And I think they also did it with a plant. One plant they spoke positive to, one plant they spoke very negative to. Plant that they spoke negative to wilted and died. The other one flourished.
I mean, was it back in the 80s when
Mm-hmm.
people really spoke to their plants and everybody thought either you got on board or you thought that was the craziest thing out there? I didn't get on board with it because back in the 80s, I was still living with my parents. So it was like, that's the last thing I was concerned about. But I remember people would talk to their plants because they said they can feel the vibe, they can feel the love, so to speak.
Yes, yes, yeah. It changes you. And it changes people. It changes your inner as well as your outer. I wish people would do a test on yourself. Speak, watch the words that come out of your mouth just for a day and see how your day goes. And then speak positively about your day. Like KayCee was saying, gratitude, wake up with gratitude.
Hmm.
Thankful that I have a roof over my head. Thank you that I have a car to drive, food to eat, things of that nature. And watch how your mood switches as opposed to
Um,
waking up
yeah.
with, gosh, I owe this bill. Oh gosh, I got to go to work and deal with this boss. Change the way you say things and your mood will change.
Yeah, not too long ago, I was in the car with my granddaughter and we were getting off the freeway, and it's a really busy intersection, and you really don't want to get caught hanging out in that intersection. Got off no problem. The light switched to green, then we turned and we got to the other green, and I said, "Oh, we're on a winning streak." We made the green lights. We're like, yeah. And on the way home, I'm sure it's the algorithm. You get there and everything turns green. But it was like, oh my goodness, green lights. There you go.
I wish people would get some type of context around this because I don't think a lot of people talk about this. Even when I go to the gym or when I make the effort to try to go to the gym, I'll say, oh, I think I'm going to try to go to the gym today. If I say try, I think I'm going to try to go to the gym tomorrow. And more than likely, I don't do it. When I say I'm going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that sets more than if I'm going to try to go to the gym or I want to go to the gym. I think I'm going to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's more affirmative, I guess you could say, more.
As you're saying it, try is like a fail safe word. So it's giving yourself permission to fail. I
Mhm.
tried. I tried. And then what do they say? Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Here goes one of these ones. Hold on. Nothing
You
beats
never
a
heard that
failure.
before?
No. I got to
Yeah.
get down these KayCee colloquials.
Oh, stop it. I'm getting triggered here. But okay.
You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
So it's like telling your brain, I might do this, but giving yourself a way out.
It gives you a way out when you're
Right.
using the word try. Another one would be we should.
You should. Don't you
You
think
know,
you should?
I'll try.
If you say I should, you better tell me I better. Yeah, I should.
Yeah,
Shoulda, coulda,
exactly.
woulda.
Exactly. It's kind of the same but different, but when you have everything going on in your head, so bebopping and ping ponging from I got this to do, I got that to do. But as soon as you put it down on paper, it makes it more tangible. So taking that should to I will the thing. It makes me move differently on a try versus okay, I have this part of my grocery list. Now I'm gonna look for it. When I'm
Right.
telling you, as far as I'll try, I'm on my list here. And should I come across it, then you'll get it. But it has different connotations to go with it.
The brain hears certainty differently than it hears possibly, right?
Exactly.
And that's also with the way you speak, even with your tone. You're going to go with the person that sounds sure of themselves as opposed to the person that doesn't sound assured of themselves. You're going to go with
Mhm.
the person that's more confident in what they're saying as opposed to someone like, I don't really, maybe. Yeah, that could be. You're like, well,
What do you
what
think?
is it? Do you know your job or you don't? But even in content creation, people are attracted to folks that are good speakers or very confident in what they're saying and make you believe they know what they're talking about,
They're
right?
great orators.
Words, the way you present your words, the way you organize, construct words, and form sentences, those things do matter. So, absolutely. I think people should, including myself, I'm pointing finger at me, definitely need to work on my words. And I do that daily because I can catch myself saying something that's negative about me or anybody else. And I try, wait a minute, let me run that back real quick. And
Yeah.
sometimes I can do it, and it's gotten better for me because I'm more aware. My God.
I'm as good as I can be until you try to cut me off.
Yeah,
No holds
those-
barred. Then you're gonna be everything at that point.
Right. Everything except the child of God. Yeah.
Ex-
If anything can trigger me, that can trigger me.
One of the things too with my grandkids, I
Mhm.
always tell them, I always let them know who's the favorite depending on what that person did that day, and I always go,
Mhm.
stop the presses, put the TV on pause. So and so is now the favorite because they maybe did something for me. So just let everybody know they're the favorite. They're like, yeah, okay. But that's more of a funny thing that I do with them. But on a serious side, each one of them brings something different to the table, to the family, to our inner circle, however you want to look at it. And I tell them, I say, okay, you know that I love you. Why do I love you? Because I am, and then they say their name. Because I'm me. I love you because you are who you are. I've got a lot of grandkids, so I don't want them to ever feel that